Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome again to now the third episode of the Real Time Retrospective podcast. And this time around, I'm taking a break from pro wrestling and focusing on another form of entertainment that I enjoy, which in essence is music. My favorite genres are hard rock, heavy metal, hip hop, electronic. I like movie themes as well, or TV themes, or pro wrestling themes as well. But yeah, I wanted to focus on music, and what I chose to focus on was actually a concert that took place in my own hometown of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. Try and say the name of my city 5 times fast. That's Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. When I tell people who don't usually live here that, they're like, one time when I was in Hawaii, I told someone, and they were like, "Ooh, that sounds Russian." So yeah. So anyway, yes, we are looking at. Well, I'm going to be talking about the 1993 concert that Guns N' Roses did here in my hometown. So, for perspective, the band lineup for the show. I'm looking at my notes here. Ta-da! The band lineup included Axl Rose on vocals, uh, Slash on lead guitar and backing vocals as well, uh, Duff McKagan on bass guitar and backing vocals, Gilby Clarke on rhythm guitar and backing vocals, Matt Sorum on backing vocals and drums, and Dizzy Reed on keyboards and backing vocals. He's also seen several times playing the bongos or a tambourine, which is what he would do. This lineup is pretty much the lineup uh, that formed pretty much in the midst of this long 3 year long tour for the Use Your Illusions album. About halfway through, uh, Gilby Clarke had replaced their previous guitarist, whose name skips me, and I should know. I can see his face. I just can't seem to say his name. He would return briefly, the band. Um, this took place on March 26, 1993, in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, at what was then called Saskatchewan Place. We now call it the SaskTel Center, which is basically uh, the main phone company of Saskatoon. But whenever someone or I or anyone else goes, we still call it Sask Place. It will always be Sask Place, and that's in Canada. And this tour was part of the Skin and Bones tour. And a little side notes. Number one, our arena that we have, its initial purpose, we had a mayor who was in talks with the NHL to buy the St. Louis Blues, and we had these hats called Saskatoon's Got the Blues, but deal fell through, and they ended up going back to St. Louis. And another side note is that the opening act for this show was the Brian May Band. Brian May is, of course, the long-standing guitarist of Queen. So yeah, and I tried to look up if there was any set list that I could look up or any footage. Couldn't find any, but I did find uh, some information concerning the Brian May Band and when they were there. So that's cool in itself. So yeah. So even as I go along, there is a link in the description to the actual video of the full concert. So you can enjoy it. Come on back. Come back and hear my thoughts and my little observations. Because there might have been something you've missed, and then you go back and you're like, oh, right. I remember seeing that. So, to begin. Whoops. See, this is real time, folks. No editing, no nothing. So the show starts, of course, and the song, the actual recorded version of their cover of the song "Since I Don't Have You" from the Spaghetti Incident album, it's just finishing up. So that likely was the intro to get people, excited and gear up. So then, who I refer to as GNR's epic voice guy, he gets the people pumped. Everyone in the arena is just nuts. Of course, he goes, "Saskatoon, you wanted the best, but they couldn't fucking make it. So here's what you get from Hollywood: Guns and Roses." And of course, we all go wild. For perspective, I was never there. No, I was 5 years old at the time. My sister was a newborn as well. So, yeah, I wasn't there. But I remember my parents saying either they saw it on the news, read it in the paper or something, and they were talking to each other. And my mom and dad were like, "Well, there's this band called Guns N' Roses that are coming to our town." And then eventually said, "Well, hopefully our son never discovers that band." Lo and behold, years later, I would discover such bands as Guns N' Roses, Metallica, AC/DC, Iron Maiden, etc., etc., etc. So here I am now. And thankfully, with this concert, I get to go like on a time machine. So yeah, so after that, the band opens with, and I thought it would be Welcome to the Jungle, but no, they open with "It's So Easy." And Axl is, of course, wearing his iconic Charles Manson cut-off T-shirt. And on the back, well, on the front, it's got Charles Manson's photo. And on the back, it says, "Charlie, don't surf." And then Slash is wearing a "Take Me Drunk, I'm Home" T-shirt. And plus, he's got the cigarette in his mouth. And no, he's not wearing a hat or anything. I really had to observe this because a part of Guns N' Roses' aesthetic is what are the band members wearing, right? And throughout that song and that performance, Axl Rose's vocals are on point. Like, he's not missing a beat here. So then after that, Mr. Brownstone is next. And Matt Sorum handles the drum intro with controlled force. Like, the minute you hear it, you're tapping your foot, and I'm sure people in the arena were like, "Oh yeah, here it comes." So then Slash's guitar playing is, of course, smooth. And then this time, Duff has a cigarette, and the band is tight playing wise. Like, there's no, like, even though this was towards the end of the original lineups, stance with each other, because this has been a 3-year-long tour with different parts of the tour. They still played tight as if they were still getting along, even though they weren't. And of course, before the chorus, though, Axl can be seen. He's nobly asking for his microphone to be louder. Like, he's literally going, "On." And his iconic dance moves are smooth still. So, and then the odd time they cut to Dizzy Reed, he is playing bongo drums, and I noticed this, and I want to make this clear during that performance of Mr. Brownstone, Axl's curses smoothly for the lyrics to the song, but there is feedback on Axl's mic that's heard. That's not a gripe against the band. Feedback can happen, but when you hear it, I'm sure people in the arena, and even I, as I watched it, I went, because you know us, and it's just a ringing that you don't want to hear, right? So then after that, they do a cover of the Wings' "Live and Let Die," which is, I personally believe, is better than the original. But I enjoyed the original as well. Not because it's by Paul McCartney and the Wings, but because it has a connection to James Bond, which I'm a big fan of. which is another topic I will talk about in the near future. So stay tuned for that. And then at this point, Slash is using one of his custom double neck guitars, which is black, and then they show the crowd, and they're having fun. So yeah, not much to say there, but yeah, "Live and Let Die" is a great cover done by Guns N' Roses. I can't say nothing bad about it. And then "The Garden" is played next, which was played pretty often during this tour, but now you don't hear it as often. And before it starts, Axel tells the crowd that the song is a little something about how life can feel. And Slash is also wearing a flat top hat. Not his top hat, just those flat top hats. Kind of like the ones Brian Johnson of AC/DC wears. If you know what I'm talking about. Uh, and Dizzy Reed has been seen starting to play the keyboards at this point because he had keyboards, bongo, and he also had a tambourine. So he was he was good to have around. I always personally thought Dizzy Reed was kind of just there. He wasn't really an official member, but he ended up coming along. So and then and I have to give Axel props because he does a great job of doing Alice Cooper's vocals from the original recording, which is off of Use Your Illusions 1. Yes. If you go back and you listen to Use Your Illusions 1 album and you listen to the recorded version of The Garden, when the guitars pick up and it's a little heavier, that's Alice Cooper. He's credited in the album, so I'm sure he gets paid quite well these days for that. So then band is still tight and the crowd is still having fun. And there is feedback again. Yeah. But don't worry, that feedback gets put in its place eventually. You'll know what I mean in a second. So then, Attitude, which is a Misfits cover, is played next. So Duff McKagan sings vocals, but Duff asks asks in the arena, if Saskatoon is fucking ready. And Axel has left the stage, so Duff is singing this with the rest of the band. And then after it's over, this made me chuckle, but man, yeah. Slash says, for anybody who could have been on Downers, you might have missed that one. Jesus. Guns N' Roses, everybody. They don't give a fuck. So, yeah. So then Axel returns, and he asks the audience, "Are you awake yet?" And the crowd cheers. He says, "Good." And then he asks if the crowd can help him out with the next song, which happens to be Rose Tattoo's a cover of Rose Tattoo's song "Nice Boys." And what he's asking is for a call in response to the lyric "Nice boys don't play rock and roll." So the band will say "Nice Boys," or Axel will say "Nice Boys," and the crowd will say "Don't play rock and roll." And once that happens, it's strong, absolutely strong. Like, we know how to sing it. We do not give 10%, we give 110%. So, yeah. And then, after that, My Michelle is next. But before that, we hear Slash on the mic say, "So, fucking Saskatoon turns out to be one hell of a fucking town, man. Crowd, man." And then Axel says, "He's just kissing your ass." Slash out, "Smack!" So yeah, they end up doing My Michelle. Crowd goes wild right from the intro. It's My Michelle. How can you not go wild? And then Disney is playing bongos again and tambourine. and it's a great performance of my Michelle. Not much else to say. And then So Fine is next. And before that, Axel says to the crowd, this is a song written by Mr. McKagan. And then Dizzy is on the piano again. And then Slash is playing on a different custom double neck guitar, which is actually white. So, yeah. I actually love the look of. Well, throughout the show, I didn't make note of a lot of it, but uh, Slash is playing on a lot of custom guitars, and and more than likely, they're Les Paul, which was the guitar of choice for Slash. But I gotta say, I love the look of his double neck guitars, especially. They're just cool looking. I'm no gearhead. Like, I don't know anything about tone or strings or amplifiers, but I know a cool looking guitar when I see it. So, and then Axel and Duff for this song, they share vocals, and then there's feedback again, which makes you go but this is where it gets put in its place. Axel Rose, she's literally seen glancing at his sound crew, giving that what the fuck look. Like, guys, get this under control. It's pissing me off. It's pissing them off, you know. And then song is done. Bear with me here. This is a big moment here. So Axl Rose asked the crowd if we should do something relaxed. Should we keep it mellow? Should we keep it nice and pretty? Or do you know where the fuck you are? You're in the jungle, baby. Wake up. Time to die. Not my best Axl Rose, but I'll get better in the near future. And of course, the crowd goes wild as the band starts to play Welcome to Jungle. Finally, play Welcome to the Jungle. It's not that I was bored. I just thought it was going to be the opener. But the band is playing tight as usual. And it's a great performance. Vocally, Axl sounds great. The band sounds tight. So, yeah. And then Double Talk and Jive is next. And then Axl Rose, before that, Axl Rose says he dedicates the next song to liars. And right from the intro, Matt and Duff it's just awesome hearing Matt and Duff. And I feel that Matt and Duff had great chemistry as like the base of the band. More so than with the original drummer that Matt replaced. And again, I'm forgetting names. I shouldn't have. But in the moment, right, you only concern yourself with who's there right now. But even if you're watching this and you're learning about Guns N' Roses for the first time, you'll eventually know the names. But some of these names just escape me. I can see their faces, but I can't say their names. So then after that, or no, excuse me. Yeah, the band does play tight, but Slash plays one hell of an epic guitar solo. Not only the song, I remember this even recorded. The song is almost two songs in one. It starts off as like a classic heavy hard rock song, and then it goes into like a Spanish kind of vibe, and Slash just throughout is playing one hell of a great solo for it. And then to complement his guitar style, Slash then uses his talk box to great effect. And then after that, this is pretty cool, at least in my opinion. So the band switches gears to an acoustic set, semi acoustic set, I should say, because they don't use acoustic guitars throughout. So the band is sitting on, some of the band members are sitting on a couch, where the rest are kind of close by the band members that are sitting on the couch. And there's a table, and it's for what I'll explain later. So the semi acoustic set includes "You Ain't the First," "You're Crazy," "Used to Love Her," "Patience," and of course the Bob Dylan cover of "Knocking on Heaven's Door." And few observations here. Sounds like I'm kind of rushing through this, but it was one whole thing, so this description works. So Axl Rose tells the crowd they're going to do something different. He goes, "Watch TV? Nah. We're gonna jerk off? Nah." And then he points to someone in the crowd who apparently had a "Get Naked" sign, and he says, "You like that, wouldn't you?" And then when Slash gets on the couch with his acoustic guitar, he starts playing Louie Louie a little bit. And then halfway through, before they start "Used to Love Her," a pizza guy and topless strippers, who I believe were from the strip club we used to have in my hometown called Showgirls. It's no longer in this city. It was forced for political reasons to move to another part of the province. Long story. It's a pain in the ass. It sucks. Yeah. If you come here, there's no strip clubs. I'm sorry. But they stop by to give food and drinks, and you'll probably be replaying that scene over and over again for a while. And then the pizza guy can be seen playing on the bongos during "I Used to Love Her." And my best guess would be he was either part of Brian May's band, or he was just a crew member on Guns N' Roses just joining in. That's my best guess. Either way, guy got to shine. And then during that same performance, Axl tosses the pizza box out to the crowd, and the pizza guy's dressed like a Domino's pizza guy. And then Axl, he pours beers in these blue styrofoam cups, and he gives a few drinks to the audience. And during their performance of "Patience," near towards the end, Slash briefly plays "Over the Hills and Far Away" by Led Zeppelin. And the call and response to "Knock on Heaven's Door" with the band and the audience is again strong. The crowd doesn't sound tired. We don't sound tired at all. We are having a good time. So then after that, we get an Axl Rose piano solo, which leads into "November Rain." And the song sounds as epic live as it does recorded, even without the orchestral band and additional backup singers that was used in the recorded version off of the "Use Your Illusion 1" album. There's a video of storm clouds and various scenes of rainstorms that are layered over the live footage. And then Slash does an acoustic rendition of his solo. So at first, as the song is playing, it's just Axl on the piano and Slash playing his acoustic guitar. But then towards the end, the whole band joins in. And you can't not watch this performance of "November Rain" and not go, "That was amazing." Because if you sit there and you say, "Well, it should have had the orchestral, it should have had the backup singers," man, it's "November Rain." It's an epic ballad. And no matter how it sounds or how they present it live, they always give 110% with it. And they always find a unique way to make it epic for any situation, and they don't fail here. You can't go wrong with this. Like if you want a good November live version of November Rain, I would put this at the top. I would also put the one in Tokyo they did a year before. Jesus, I think during the even when Axel was the sole member, about 2006, and he had a whole crop of different guys. There was a good performance of it at the Download Festival. So yeah, but I would put this one towards the top, not because of it's in my city. It's because it sounds fucking good. And then after that, Matt Sorum does a drum solo. But this is after Axel introduces all the members to the audience, all the band members to the audience. And in the last person, he says, Matt Sorum on drums. So Matt is doing an awesome drum solo, of course. And this leads into You Could Be Mine. And at this point, Duff is sporting a black cowboy hat, and Slash is shirtless. So everyone get excited. He's shirtless finally, looking like Slash. And then Gilby Clarke actually has a cool see-through guitar. Yeah. So, but there's a false start because Axl Rose's mic isn't working, and as he notices it, he stops, and then he gets a good mic, and he goes, well, let's start again. And they try again, and things go better, and it's like they never missed a beat. So, and as the song ends, we get a epic Slash guitar solo with his signature Les Paul. And I would have thought that during this solo, he was going to go into the Godfather theme, which is what he does and has done for quite a while. Even when I know with his solo stuff, he always does the the Godfather theme. But instead, he plays a piano. He plays piano rhythms as Slash does he plays a bluesy solo, while Dizzy Reed plays piano rhythms. And then Slash plays the intro to Since I Don't Have You, which leads into Axl singing a little bit with echo effect. And then it's followed by Sweet Child of Mine. And it's as beautiful, as perfect as you can get with Sweet Child of Mine whenever it's performed live. And then after that, the band leaves the stage, but they reappear for an encore of Paradise City, which is preceded by the intro to the Pink Floyd song Mother. The band performs it. It's not pre-recorded or anything. It's actually the band performing it. And then, of course, at this point, up until this point, Slash had been wearing a cap with WW1 on it. But he finally is seen wearing his iconic top hat. And he does tell the crowd after they perform Paradise City, which is an epic closer, he says, "Thank you fucking much." What else could Slash say, right? So yeah, and to close it out, Axl is seen he's tossing roses to the crowd to close the show, and this is then followed by all the band members taking a bow to the audience. And then we fade to black, or the video cuts off. And I gotta say, even though I wasn't there, I felt like I took a time machine back in time, got to see it from top to bottom, minus Brian May. Let's just say I missed the time when Brian May was on, but I saw Guns N' Roses at their peak in my own hometown, and I gotta say from top to bottom, despite some of the feedback, false start of one of their songs, it was a great concert. They put on a good show in our city. And really, it's a shame that where I'm from, we don't get a lot of big acts from any time. here much. Regina, Saskatchewan, which has a bigger arena and usually holds our football team, the Saskatchewan Roughriders from the CFL, they get more the big shows. We're now kind of like an afterthought. We really, really are. Like even when WWE comes here, we just get their live events. We don't get a arena show, like a taped live show. We did get in '92 full arena when Bret Hart beat Ric Flair to win his first WWF championship. But yeah, no. But we'll say that nowadays when we have our lacrosse team, the Saskatchewan Rush play sellout. Our hockey team, the Saskatchewan Blades in the WHL, 50-50. We're not usually winning, but 50-50. But still, if we could get more concerts like this, and I'm not just saying rock, but I mean big acts, we could fill an arena just like the crowd did way back on March 26, 1993. So, I actually want to show you guys something here. Yes, it's my OBS, but I'm thankful that Setlist FM, which was my go-to, has the full set. So I will link this, and I will also link the other set lists from this tour, the Skin and Bones tour. So I'll just click on it here, and yeah, there was the last part of that was in July 17th in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and after that show, that iteration of the band was done. They were done. So it ended July 17th, 1993. And if I can, if it'll let me. Yeah, it started February 23rd, 1993, but this was part of a 3-year long tour, long tour for the Use Your Illusion album. And at that point, the band was just losing their minds, you know. No. I will Guns N' Roses in general. So there we go. So the guitarist that Gilby Clarke ended up replacing, I have it here. Past members. Yeah, it was Izzy Stradlin, this guy here. And he was the original member. And then, of course, Matt Sorum was replaced by Steven Adler. He did end up getting a credit for playing drums on Use Your Illusions 2. He played on Civil War, but after that he was too drunk to continue, so they had to let him go. So yeah, figure that out. So I will give you guys links, and also, since this is Guns N' Roses related, I'm going to leave exclusively on my Discord a Guns N' Roses related extra treat on my Discord channel. So if you click the link below, you'll go to my general page of my Discord, and I'll have a little extra Guns N' Roses content for you. And in the near future, perhaps, you might see it on TikTok, you might see it in a short on here, I will perfect Axl Rose's vocals and do vocal covers of Guns N' Roses in the near future. I just have to be careful with the copyright policy and how everything is. So, yeah. So all I ask is that Meantime, in between time, check me out on all other social media platforms that you wish to follow me on. The main ones that I use are in the banner up above on my main page. Others are in my information. I'm still adding more, so there's just some I don't use for promotion, and then there's some I just use just to post. So that is that. And also, I'm starting to put everything together on Rumble. Slowly but surely, it's a process. But in the event that these videos get pulled or this channel ceases to exist, at least I'll have all the videos that I've ever done saved to Rumble, if Rumble's still around. YouTube will always be here more than likely. Rumble, you never know, and I never know, and I won't know the fate of my channel. So it's just good to have backups. So yeah, that's where we are right now. Pretty short, pretty sweet, but a great concert nonetheless, and I enjoyed every minute of it, and I've enjoyed sharing it with you. I wish we could watch it together and react, but you know, copyright policy, right? So anyway, thank you once again. This has been the retro. This has been the real time retrospective podcast. Episode 3 is in the books. And tomorrow, or next time, not tomorrow, next time on the podcast, I'm going to go back to my subject of pro wrestling, but it's going to be just one video outside of that custom 2001 playlist that I was talking about before. So I won't spoil what it is now, but you'll see it, and then you'll go, okay. So yeah. So anyway, gonna have you some links for this episode in the description below. A little surprise on the Discord. Take care, and please like, subscribe, and be prepared because there are updates coming. I will have a better webcam. I will actually have a microphone. I will actually have proper lighting so you can see my pretty face and hear my voice. So there you go. Anyways, take care, everybody. Be safe.